Hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody tuning in for the live event. If I could please get a sound check, microphone check in the chat. Let me know if you can hear my voice. And also, please do yourself a huge favor. Learn the #1 rule in DeFi. When we get involved in crypto and DeFi, we use a Web3 wallet. The Web3 wallet is a seed phrase. The seed phrase is the wallet is the seed phrase. It's like a master key to your wallet and all of the accounts therein. So your most important job, excuse me, your most important job when you get involved with DeFi and crypto, you're using that wallet, you're using that seed phrase, you need to keep that seed phrase to yourself. You need to keep it a secret. In fact, another phrase for the seed phrase is the secret recovery phrase. You want to keep that as a hard copy. Don't store it as some kind of a file, a photo, a text file, any file on a computer or a device. What happens if that device gets hacked? If you lose your seed phrase, you're going to lose all of your crypto. It's going to get drained. So keep it as a hard copy. Never give it to anybody. That hopefully goes without saying. You never want to fall for any of the scams and tricks out there that people will try to play on you. So no matter what somebody says to you, they are trying to trick you into giving up your 12 words or your seed phrase. So don't fall for the tricks. Obviously, never email your seed phrase to anybody, not even yourself. And never enter it anywhere on some website, anywhere online. That is a very common scam. Under false pretenses, they'll get you to go to a website and enter your 12 words. But as soon as you do that, now they have your seed phrase. They own your crypto. They will drain your wallet. And there's no way to recover that. So don't fall for the tricks. Don't fall for the scams. The only time you'll ever need your seed phrase again in the future is if you're restoring your wallet on a brand new device. I don't know why I have that screen up. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Brandon, also known as the DeFi Guide. I fancy myself kind of a tour guide, helping people to learn all about crypto and DeFi. And it can be a complicated, new and different sort of a territory. So I like to try to help as much as I can and reduce and flatten that learning curve, give you the education that you need to make well-informed decisions. I never provide any kind of advice, no financial advice, no investment advice. I just provide education so that when you're making your decisions, you can make a more well-educated, well-informed decision. Another thing I like to do on the channel, I haven't been doing a ton of it lately because we're not getting a ton of viewers on the live streams. But if we can get some good participation, if we can get 35 people or more tuned into the live stream, then I would be more than happy to give away some free crypto just as a bonus. My goal here is to provide education. I also enjoy providing a Q&A portion to the live stream so you can ask your questions in real time. There is no such thing, I know everybody says this, but I really, really mean it. No such thing as a dumb question or a stupid question, or if you're brand new to this and you have a question, just ask. That's why I'm here. That's what motivates me. That's my purpose and my mission in life, is to make all of this a lot easier. So please feel free to ask questions right here in the live chat on the live stream. And also, if you're a bit shy or if you're watching the recorded version of this video, we also have a Telegram group available. It's free. It's open to everybody. You can have the Telegram app on your phone or your computer or both. You can join that Team Drip Guide Telegram group and ask questions in there and continue your learning journey. I promise you it is well worth your time and effort to learn Web3, learn DeFi. The world is moving away from centralized systems and moving towards decentralized systems. And there's nowhere that's happening more than in the whole financial system. So it really is advantageous. There's a huge wave coming, and I like to position myself to ride the wave, so to speak. So So if we can get some more live viewers, we have 11 people tuned in live right now. Thank you for being here. Make sure to share the stream with your friends and family and your Discord groups and your Telegram groups and Facebook groups and all of that. Let's get some more live viewers. If we can get 35 live viewers, like I said, I'll be more than happy to give away some free crypto. So also, in the interest of being able to catch the live streams live, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. You get a reminder from YouTube every time I go live. So let's see here. We're going to do a bit of an update on the concentrated liquidity situation that I've been tinkering with since the beginning of the year. And I'm going to try to demystify the whole concept of impermanent loss. That's by far the most common objection, or that's a sticking point. It's a point of fear and anxiety. The whole idea that if you provide liquidity, you're going to be a victim of impermanent loss. So we're going to unravel the mystery and talk about exactly what it is. It's not something that can be avoided, but it's actually something that is not to be feared. And certainly don't want to miss out on the opportunities that we have in DeFi to provide liquidity and earn some very, very, very attractive yields. So I'm going to keep one eye on the other screen over here. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them out in real time. I'll do my best to answer those questions and comments. But I want to explain what impermanent loss is. So first of all, let's just dissect the words. So the first word is impermanent, which means it's not permanent. Another way to think about this is, traders will say they have a gain on paper. They have a loss on paper. Well, on paper, I'm up 10%. On paper, I'm down 10%. That indicates that the position is still open. The story is still underway, and they haven't closed the position. So the first thing to understand about impermanent loss is it doesn't actually affect you in real terms until if and when you close your liquidity position. Okay. So impermanent loss. Now, the other word is loss. And as I'm going to show you tonight, it actually doesn't mean a loss of value. It doesn't necessarily mean a loss of value. It just means that there's a difference between providing liquidity and trading the token outright. So what I mean by trading the token outright, and I'll just use this as an example right here. Let me zoom in a little bit on this here, so it's not quite so small. So as a liquidity provider, I have a couple of options, and I like to think about this as, you think about the mid 1800s, and we had something going on in the United States called the gold rush. And in the gold rush days, there were many, many people that decided to look for gold. They decided to risk it all, bet it all, and become gold prospectors, right? So some of those people struck it rich, but most of those people ended up losing everything. They never found gold. Maybe they found a little bit of gold, but it wasn't enough to cover all of their expenses. They went out of business as a gold prospector. On the other side of that coin, no pun intended, you had folks that were providing goods and services to the prospectors. Okay. Those folks made consistent income. Those businesses thrived. No matter whether the prospectors they were selling equipment to or services to were successful or lost everything, they made those sales. They brought in that revenue because they provided goods and services to all of the prospectors, whether they were successful or not. Right now, we're living through the gold rush days of decentralized finance. And so there are all sorts of people, lots and lots of people get into DeFi, and what they're looking to do is to find that next 100x token. They want to buy a token. They want it to go up overnight, 100x, 1000x. They want to turn a small stake into a large stake. It sounds very familiar to the 1800s when people wanted to find that big gold nugget and cash in. That's the vast majority of players in this space. What I would encourage people to do, and what I'm doing with my money in DeFi, is I'm providing the goods and services for all of these prospectors in DeFi. All of the degens looking for this token or that token. I'm not concerned with all of these thousands and thousands of different tokens. I do hold a few tokens that I think will do very well in the next months and years. But for the most part, my money is in providing liquidity. This is the picks and shovels play of our time, of decentralized finance. Now, what I mean by that specifically is I'm providing liquidity for certain tokens, only certain tokens that have massive utility. And in terms of utility, in terms of crypto and DeFi, the biggest subsection of DeFi is the decentralized exchange. There's already, hopefully people are learning their lessons from the Mt. Goxes and the FTXs of the world. They don't want to keep their money for any longer than an hour or two on any of these centralized exchanges. They want to utilize a decentralized exchange because it's far safer. They don't have to worry about counterparty risk. They don't have to worry about a fraudster like Sam Bankman-Fried. So in order for decentralized exchanges to exist, we need liquidity providers. So we provide our capital to the exchange, and in return for doing that, we receive fees. We receive trading fees, and some of these platforms, some of these decentralized exchanges actually provide us extra rewards, which is something that's happening on this pair. This is the SOL token, and paired with USDT, which is a stable coin. And first of all, why did I choose SOL? I chose SOL because one of the biggest networks in DeFi, one of the biggest networks in crypto is Solana. Now, there's also Ethereum. There's also BNB Chain. There's also Arbitrum. There's a lot of different networks, but Solana is one of the bigger ones. I'm also providing liquidity in the ETH token, which is the main token for the Ethereum network, for ZK Sync, which is where I'm specifically providing liquidity. But the idea is whether people are striking it rich and finding that 100x token or losing it all, they're going to have to do things on the network. They're going to have to process transactions on these different blockchains, networks. In order to do that, they have to have the gas fees. They have to have the SOL tokens or the ETH tokens or the BNB tokens to be able to pay the gas fees and do transactions, execute transactions on those networks. So while the price action might be really volatile, over time, over long stretches of time, these tokens are going to, I believe they're going to go up and to the right for the most part. So when I provide liquidity, like if I want to speculate on a token, I'm just going to buy the token and hold it. Because if that token goes up, I want all of that price appreciation. What do I mean by all of it? So if I'm just bullish on SOL and I say, I'm going to invest in this SOL token, right? Then I have to trade it. And what I ideally want to do is buy low and sell high, right? And if I'm trading in and out of the token over time, depending on my skill as a trader and my ability to predict where the prices are going to turn, I might make money, I might lose money. I don't want to deal with all of that. So what I choose to do let's look at this example. So I provided liquidity on February 12th. I put about $2,500 capital into this liquidity pool. Now, for the most, when I provided the liquidity to this decentralized exchange, when I put my tokens into this liquidity pool, it was about 50-50, meaning I had about half of my $2,500 in SOL and the other half in USDC. About 50-50. It wasn't exactly, but the point is only part of my investment, only part of my capital, $2,500, was in SOL. Okay. Now you can see it went up a little bit, it went down, it went up, it went down, and then it went right up to the top of my range. This box indicates my range, my minimum price, and my maximum to designate whenever you're providing liquidity into a concentrated liquidity position or a V3 DEX. So basically the price went up. Now, if we look at the numbers, I put liquidity in when Solana was about $112. And then I took liquidity out when Solana was almost 118. The gain there from 111.84 up to 117.87 was about 5.4%, a little bit more than 5%. So if I had just put all $2,500 into SOL at a price of 111.84 and then sold it right at the top, like lucky me, I was able to predict the top, right? I just knew. And then I would have experienced a 5.4% on my entire $2,500. As a liquidity provider, I still experienced a gain on my capital, but because roughly half of my capital was still in USDC, the price of USDC went up. Obviously, it's a stable coin. It's pegged to the dollar. So only about half of my capital went up in value. All right. And at the end of the day, when I pulled this liquidity position, roughly 36 hours later, I had realized, that's another way to say impermanent. So impermanent is unrealized gain or loss. Permanent would be after you close the position. Now it's a realized gain or loss. I had a realized gain of about 2.7%. So in as much as I experienced impermanent loss in this liquidity position, it wasn't really a loss per se. It was just you could call it an opportunity cost. I didn't make as much of a gain as I would have just holding the token by itself. So hopefully that starts to make it clear. You don't even have to worry. First of all, you don't have to worry about the word impermanent because it, by definition, means it's transitory, it's unrealized, and it's just a paper gain or a paper loss, or in this case, a smaller gain than what was otherwise possible. And it isn't even really a loss. Like, I still experienced a gain on this position. Now let's look at another example. Here, you could say, oh, well, you weren't so lucky this time, the price went down. Okay, so let's dissect this. So on February 15th, I again provided liquidity to SOL USDC on Radium. And you can see my price range indicated by the box here. And the price at the outset of this, the price was right at 114. And then the price dropped, right? It actually escaped my range to the lower side, came back into range, and then I exited the position. I turned that impermanent loss into a permanent loss. Okay, so what was the loss? Well, if I had invested all $2,800 into the SOL token, SOL actually went down by 4.5%. I would have lost 4.5% of my money times this $2,800. In reality, because roughly half of my money was in SOL, I cut my loss in half. So in this case, my impermanent loss, which became a permanent loss, was actually cut in half compared to what I would have experienced if I was just a trader. trying to buy low and trying to sell high. And then, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out in your favor. That's the nature of markets. And that's the difficulty that faces every trader. You traders out there know exactly what I'm talking about. You want to buy the lows and sell the highs, but you have no control over the price action. And there's always uncertainty. That is the only certainty. Uncertainty. You just never know what the price is going to do in advance. So I could have, you know, as a trader, I could have just bought SOL and then hung on to it and not registered, not locked in that loss. Just thought, oh, well, you know, it's down. I have an unrealized loss on my position here, but I'm going to hang on. It'll go back up, right? Now, in the case of, I think long term, absolutely, it's going to go back up, right? But if you're just trying to trade and trying to, you know, maybe trying to make some passive income with your trading activities, it's a heck of a lot harder than just providing liquidity where they may. So the loss that I took on this position from February 17th, it was about 34 hours later that I pulled this. I put in 28.13. I took out 27.53. So I had a $59 loss. That was about 2.1%. But in the same time frame, SOL was down 4.5%. Permanent loss in this was actually good. It was better to be a provider of liquidity versus a trader of the token. And being a provider of liquidity, had a little blip there. I noticed over here on StreamYard that the stream dropped. So I don't have the strongest signal. We do have 21 live viewers, so I appreciate everybody that's here. Continue to share the link and rally your troops. See if we can get some more live viewers. If we can get it pumped up to 30, 35 viewers, I will do a giveaway. I'll give away $20 worth of crypto. So keep on sharing and keep liking the video, posting comments, etc. Where was I? Okay, so we had a win here. We had a loss. Our win wasn't as big because we were providing liquidity. But on the flip side of that coin, our loss wasn't as bad when we didn't get the price action right. Obviously, if I had perfect foresight of what the price was going to do, I just would have I would have sold my Solana here, just held USDC until right here and just bought the perfect bottom. But you can never do that. Let's zoom back out. And I didn't plan this, but this just turned out to be a perfect example of why I'm such a fan of providing liquidity versus trading. I mean, despite or above and beyond the fact that as a liquidity provider, it's far less babysitting. I don't have to sit here and watch the chart. I do check the chart daily, but I'm not watching it all day long. I don't have to worry about it. I just, for the most part, sit back, relax, and collect my fees. Now, this is so interesting because my other liquidity position is in ETH USDC. This thing is super bullish. It just keeps going up and up and up. Solana, it's more of an altcoin. It's not the, I'd say it's a blue chip, but it's definitely not going to have the market cap and the popularity of Bitcoin and ETH. The price has been more volatile. Now, look at this experiment. So this is, what is it, the 19th? This is a week ago that I started this latest volley of providing liquidity. What was the price at the beginning? $111.84. What's the price right now? It's pretty much in the same place. So there's been ups and downs. The price has barely gone anywhere for a week. If I had just left this original liquidity position, right, I would have been collecting fees this entire time, the value of my capital would be roughly the same because the price is the same. The value of the USDC. Solana changed, but only a tiny bit, right? And the entire week long, I was receiving trading fees, or I would have been receiving trading fees if I had just. And we're back. I don't know why. I'm definitely on the correct Wi-Fi network. I'm on my Starlink, which normally works very well, but I'm looking level on StreamYard, and it's pretty weak sauce. So I'm not sure what's different about tonight compared to last week, but hopefully it won't cut out too often. So think about this now. Instead of an opportunity cost or an impermanent loss, I could have experienced a much better result as a liquidity provider versus a trader. If a trader buys SOL at $111.84, here they are a week later, they're in the same place. They haven't made or lost anything. In fact, they've lost a few cents on their position. But as a liquidity provider for the entire week, I've probably collected, I could have collected between 0.2 and maybe as much as 5% a day just in trading fees and rewards from Radium. Okay. So definitely not something to be afraid of, and providing liquidity and dealing with that possibility of an impermanent loss actually can turn out to be a benefit compared to a trader. You don't have to worry about trying to guess the highs and lows. You don't have to worry about babysitting the chart. You don't have to worry about extended periods of time where the price goes nowhere and you're not making any money on your capital, right? Now, if Solana suddenly goes from 112 to 212, I'm going to miss out on that move. As a liquidity provider, once the price reaches the top of my range, I should qualify that. As a liquidity provider on V3 or concentrated liquidity provider, as soon as the price reaches the top of my range, my liquidity position will now be 100%, in this case, USDC, and 0% SOL. So if the price goes any higher than the top of my range, I still have the same value because I've converted all of my position into USDC. Why is that? So as a liquidity provider, and I always talk about this, as a liquidity provider, we are providing the other side of those trades. So what that means is if traders are buying the token, we are selling. Are selling the token, we are buying. Our liquidity position is buying, right? So if price is going up and up and up and up and up, that means traders are buying, 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 buying. Our liquidity position is time. By the time we've reached the top of our range, we have run out of SOL tokens to sell. We're sold out. It would be like the salesperson selling picks and shovels to the prospectors, right? They ran out of picks and shovels, sold out. Okay. It would be not a horrible problem to have, right? And in fact, what I did here, the reason I pulled my liquidity position is because I had, based on some rudimentary technical analysis, I noticed these highs right over here. I noticed that high right there, and that high right there, and that high right there. And I thought, okay, price is relatively high. We'll probably get a pullback. Now, I didn't have the patience to wait for that much of a pullback, and I got back in only when it had pulled. But that was the reason. My reasoning, my thought process was not only to provide liquidity, but also to pseudo trade the token. Just a mild bit of trading mixed in with my overall process here of just providing liquidity with a certain price range, right? So I sold, my liquidity position had sold out of SOL by the time price reached 117.71 or 55 or whatever. And then by the time price had pulled back to around 114, exactly 114, I put the money back in, meaning I took some of my USDC and bought some SOL tokens for that price, and then plopped my capital back into the pool. If more people get into this, will this be less profitable later on? That's an excellent question. So it depends. When you say more people getting into this, that could be two different things. So more people providing liquidity. If I'm competing with more liquidity providers and the same trading volume, then yes, my income will go down. The income on these positions, and you guys can see this, my current position is yielding about 166%. Think about that for a second. 166% a year. And that's just, I don't know why this site can be really slow. This is just an APR, annual percentage return, right? Or annual percentage rate. When people say APR, that's just the base level interest rate, if you will. When people say APY, that's annual percentage yield. That also takes into the calculations the compounding, the effect of compounded interest. So if you think about this, if you just say, okay, I'm earning 166% a year, what you would do to figure out your daily is just simply divide that number, and you guys can't see it, divide that number by 365. That'll tell you roughly what you're getting per day. But the magic comes when you start to compound your rewards. And you don't have to do this daily. I don't do this daily, but I would say at least once a week, I go in and harvest my yield and I put it right back into the liquidity pool. So I'm compounding my already beautiful interest rate into an even higher APY. So to get back to your question, and again, thank you for the question. It's a good one. If more people come here and provide liquidity on this exchange, now I'm competing more, or excuse me, my liquidity is competing with other liquidity for the same volume of trading fees. This is trading fees. Part of it is reward tokens from this exchange. This Radium.io exchange gives us also Ray tokens, which may or may not hold on to their value. I don't know. But we get trading fees and we get some Ray tokens. The trading fees, that's strictly a function of volume and whether or not we're in range, right? So if more users come along and trade this pair on this exchange, that's actually going to cause my income to go up. That's going to increase my yield. More volume means more swaps, means more trading fees. And if the other side of the coin is equal, if there's the same number of people, the same amount of capital providing liquidity, now we're all sharing that same pie, but it's a bigger pie, right? So it depends on, more liquidity, or more people getting into this on the liquidity providing side or on the swapping side. I'm betting that as this gets bigger and bigger, and as the world wakes up to this decentralized finance situation and all the opportunities, like I said at the very beginning of the stream, I think most people are going to be after that 100x token. So they're going to be scouring the different websites and forums and whatnot, looking for that next hot token, whether it's a meme token or whatever it is, right? They're not going to be doing things like providing liquidity for a gas token. That's my thought. So I think my profits are actually going to go up over time as more volume, more trading volume starts to happen. And there's going to be an increase in the number of people and the amount of capital that's being used and deployed in this way to provide liquidity. But I think there's going to be a larger growth in the number of people that are trading, swapping back and forth between whatever token and whatever other token, right? And there's, everybody needs Sol. If you're going to be doing transactions on the Solana blockchain, you need Sol. You need Sol tokens to pay the gas. So, 19 viewers, not bad, not too shabby, but not meeting the threshold. Molion, what is up? Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Fate Master, welcome. Thanks for the soundtrack. Hello, Lillian. Nice to see you here as always. T. What's up, T? Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Guys, if there aren't any questions. Oh, I think you are on to something with the gas tokens. Yeah, we talked about this on Saturday. So every Saturday, not every Saturday, but most Saturday nights, I appear on Crypto Unlimited 22. Johnny Fawcett and the DeFi Diva. They have a Saturday night live in DeFi live stream every Saturday night. So I like to appear on that. And this last Saturday, we were talking about this, and they actually got, I wouldn't say burned. That's probably too strong of a word, but they discovered and they experienced kind of a loss, a fairly large impermanent loss or unrealized loss on their liquidity position when they provided liquidity for, let's say, not a name brand token. So I would never want to provide liquidity for a token that is going to be highly volatile, that doesn't have any real solid utility like a token like Sol does or ETH. And I mean, I'm as much interested in the next 100x token as anybody else. But in terms of providing liquidity, it has to be only a very select situation. Of course, I don't want the price to go down. I also don't mind if the price remains flat, but a meme token or something like that, providing liquidity. Like a lot of people are getting interested now. Drip has been doing extremely well. If you look at the wrapped drip, it's doing even better. We hit almost 5.5 cents per token. I would never provide liquidity for a token like this because the impermanent loss, it's not going to be a loss, but it's going to be a massive opportunity cost. I could put $1,000 at 3 cents and have it double to 6 cents. And I get 100% of that 100%, right? Whereas if I provide liquidity and start out at 3 cents, I mean, maybe my range is that high, but half of my position is some other token, probably a stable coin or maybe BNB. That token isn't appreciating in value at all. Not to mention, if this price overruns my range and goes out the top, now I don't have any drip anymore. I've sold out of my drip. If I provided liquidity down here, and the top of my range was 4 cents, my liquidity position would have sold out of all of its drip by the time price reached 4 cents. And this would have been meaningless to me. So if it's a token that I think is going to go up wildly, or I hope it goes up wildly, that's the last token that I'm going to provide liquidity for. I'm going to provide liquidity for something that looks like this. This is ideal. This is perfect. The volatility is pretty mild. I think this is around plus or minus 10%, right? If the median here is 112 and we went as high as 118, actually that's about plus or minus 5%. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. We're always collecting trading fees. We're not, we're not, price is never escaping our range here. This would have been absolutely perfect. I mean, I'm wishing in hindsight that I had just left this in the entire time. I would be better off. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. I still have made money overall in the last week, and all good. Yeah, and demand, there's always going to be demand. Maybe not necessarily always. You never know. Maybe Solana falls out of favor and everybody moves to a different chain. But I think it's a very, very good bet. One of the best bets. And I get paid, I get paid to speculate. And if the price goes up just mildly up and to the right, I can always adjust my range. And that was the plan here. Like when it escaped my range here, I just said to myself, okay, I'm going to pull it here. I'm going to leave myself in USDC. And then if and when we get a drop down to this moving average or something like that, I'll jump back in and I'll have a range slightly higher. That's what I was doing right here. And then, it kept going down. But that's fine. How's your Apex trading going? Oh, thank you for asking. I won't be reaching a payout tomorrow, but I recently passed a second evaluation. It was last week, last Tuesday or Wednesday, I passed a second evaluation. So now with Apex Trader funding, I have 2 funded accounts. One of them I'm being very conservative with. I'm just trying to make, between $200 and $300 a day, day trading. And then the other one, I'm going for more. I'm just allowing myself to trade, whatever might come for the entire day. So I'm very excited about that. And it's been going extremely well. Yeah. And by the way, if you're interested in what I'm doing in terms of day trading and the Apex Trader funding, I do have a secondary channel. It is a tiny, tiny, tiny channel, something like 40 subscribers or something like that. But the name of that channel is Belief Trader. Yeah, that's all right. We got 21 now. Could you share? Oops. I feel like I can't buy enough drip while it is relatively low. Man, I will tell you what, there was a pump in the price of drip a couple of months ago. G.I. Joe knows what I'm talking about. And there was an opportunity drip pumped all the way up to 7 cents. Actually, I know when that was. That was in September when Forex first announced that the faucet contract would be somewhat decommissioned or hamstrung. It pumped to 7 cents. And then, as you guys know, it dropped all the way back down to like 1.2 cents. And then there was another pump that went up as high as maybe 4.5 cents, dropped back down to the lows. Now, with all of the utilities existing and being planned and developed right now for the wrapped drip token, which is based on drip. I mean, it's literally the drip token sent to a contract, losing 10% to the vault, the tax vault or drip vault, and getting wrapped. So any demand for the wrapped drip token equates to demand for the drip token as well. I'm super bullish on this. I don't think we're going to stop until we, I think the next interesting price point on this is 10 cents. But I actually think that we could go a lot higher. There was a movie, you guys remember the GameStop story and all the Wall Street bets traders. And I didn't know all the ins and outs of that story, but I recently watched that movie, Dumb Money. And there was a a YouTuber. There is a YouTuber that was kind of like the main YouTuber. And that guy, somebody could remind me of his handle on YouTube. He hodled the GameStop stock and call options and whatnot. He made his account go from $50,000 roughly to like 22 million, and he still didn't sell. So now I'm kind of thinking that, you know, with trading going well, providing liquidity, stable swap, like my income is sort of taken care of in terms of being able to pay my bills. Could be better. The income situation could be better. But I now I'm starting to think, well, maybe I'll sort of be like that guy. Like I'll just hodl drip until it goes crazy, crazy high. You know, it's the liquidity pool is tiny, and it doesn't take a lot of fresh buys. It doesn't take a lot of buy volume and incoming liquidity to really pump the hell out of the price. I mean, this could easily see 50 cents, a dollar, multiple dollars, $10. It's literally possible. So I kind of feel like I'm just gonna sit on my tokens and hold on for dear life. I have enough. I'm not. I don't have the kind of fresh dry powder to be buying more drip tokens than I already have. I did recently buy another chunk. I think I paid around 3 cents. No, it was less than 3 cents. But yeah, for now, I'm just gonna hodl these tokens and see where it goes. Best practices to avoid impermanent loss as much as you can. Yeah. So like I said at the beginning of this stream, it isn't something that can be avoided. It's just the nature of trading. So whether you're trading a token or providing liquidity, you're always going to have those paper losses or paper gains. You're going to have unrealized loss, or you're going to have unrealized gain, or maybe you're just flat. Maybe you're just at break even and you don't have any paper gains or paper losses. So the impermanent loss, that's it. The only way to avoid impermanent loss, or in the case of this experience here, I didn't have a loss. I just had a smaller gain than I would have experienced just trading the token. So if you want to call that impermanent loss, okay, but I think the wording is misleading, right? But there's no way to avoid it. The only way to avoid it would just be to not trade or not provide liquidity. You're always going to have some kind of unrealized gain or unrealized loss. In the case of the token that you're providing liquidity for, in the case that it goes up, your gain is smaller. Your paper gain is smaller than you would have if you had just bought the token outright. When the price is going down, as a liquidity provider, your paper loss, your unrealized loss, is smaller than it would have been if you were just trading the token outright. Okay. And then if the price just goes sideways with some bumps in the road, you're in a great position as a liquidity provider because you're collecting fees the entire time and you haven't made any unrealized gains. You haven't made any unrealized losses. Neither has the trader, but you have collected lots of trading fees, depending on the volume and depending on the time that the price stays in your range. Roaring Kitty, right? It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. And I as a YouTuber, I identified and I resonated with that guy's story. And that's it. It's so interesting that it ties in with the story of the drip token. I'm a huge holder, a bag holder. I have a lot of tokens just sitting in my wallet. And unless I don't really have a reason to sell. Like I realize the price right now at more than 5 cents, it's a lot higher than where I bought the token. But I have no reason to sell. So I kind of fancy myself the roaring kitty of drip. I'm a small fish in drip. That's fine. That is fine. That's one of the beautiful things about crypto and DeFi is you can start as small as you want. The percentages are what are so amazing in DeFi. I mean, 166% yield. Come on. It's even better on my ETH USDC. I think I'm somewhere upwards of 300%. So whether you're investing $50 or $50,000, the percentages still are the same. And they're still very, very attractive. So in my opinion, it's a great way to have like a side gig. You need money to make money, but you don't have to start out with anything more than, I mean, I would say probably at least $25 would be the bare minimum, because you're going to have transaction costs. Super cheap on ZK Sync, super cheap on Solana. I mean, crazy. The gas fees might as well be zero on Solana. You know, so, but you don't want to go too small. Otherwise, the transaction costs are actually going to be a little bit too much for you. But yeah, by any means, by every means, you know, it's something that's open to even the small fish. What do you think is the best play in Drip X? I'm kind of old school with Drip. I'm glad there's new utility coming online for the wrapped Drip token, because I know that any demand for the wrapped Drip token will automatically cause demand for the Drip token. As a matter of fact, there's an opportunity right here and now. You could buy Drip off of PancakeSwap. Now, if you buy Drip on PancakeSwap, you're going to lose 10% of your tokens. If you buy on the native DEX, there's no buy tax. But if you buy on PancakeSwap, there's a buy tax. So the way that math works out is you're not really paying 0.0433 per token. You're actually paying a higher price because you're losing 10% of the tokens that you purchase to the transfer tax. So what we actually have to do, it might seem counterintuitive, is we divide by 0.9. So effectively, including the tax, we're paying 0.0481111 per token. So keep that price in mind and look at this wrapped Drip token. It's 0.05309. Now, would that be enough to, because whenever you go from Drip to wrapped Drip, you're going to lose another 10% of your tokens to, again, the transfer tax. So you have to factor that in as well. So if I bought a bunch of tokens and I paid for 0.04888, let's do this. Let's do 1 over X. Let's say we put $1,000. So if we put $1,000 and paid that 0.0488111, we would get 20,785 tokens. Now we wrap the tokens, right? So we multiplied times 0.9 after the tax. Now we only have 18,706 wrapped Drip, but the price is much higher. So let's see what we would get if we swapped wrapped Drip, in this case for BNB. So we go times 0.05309. Okay. In this case, there's not an arbitrage opportunity. After the buy tax and after the wrapping tax, if you will, we're only going to have roughly $993 worth of, in this case, BNB. But sometimes it isn't like that, especially if you are able to buy Drip off of the DEX. Now, this website, this is Rick Pierce's website. So shout out to Rick. This one will automatically put an asterisk next to whichever price is more favorable. And so the interesting thing here is that even if the price is higher on the Drip native DEX, than it is on PancakeSwap, a lot of times it's a better deal to buy it on the native DEX because you don't pay that 10% tax. So when that's the case and the price is better on the native DEX, arbitrage is possible. So that's why I say when people buy wrapped drip, automatically that's going to cause demand for the OG drip token. So when it comes to something like Drip X, and I know this is a super long answer to your question, when it comes to something like Drip X, like I might play around a little bit with that protocol. But for the most part, I would not be willing to put much of my drip tokens at risk. It's a new contract. It's some other developer besides Forex Shark. Anytime you're dealing with a new protocol and new smart contracts, there's always the chance, even with Forex, there's always the chance that there could be some sort of vulnerability with those contracts. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with Drip X. I'm saying it's a possibility, and I just would rather not take the risk. So for me, I'm super glad that there's going to be a Drip X. I think that's bullish for the drip token, certainly is bullish for the wrapped drip token, but as I explained, it's also bullish for the drip token. And it's just going to be another thing in the narrative here of drip, which compels me to hold the token for a long time. I mean, if Drip X becomes popular, we saw what Titan X did, and this is going to be a similar protocol, as I understand it. It could be super, super bullish. So that's when we start to see the potential here of drip going up to, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, $1, $2. It's entirely possible. It would not be crazy at all. Oh, under your affiliate and drip way back in January. Yeah, you unfortunately, a lot of people like yourself, Taro, bought into the drip token at the peak, which is you don't have to feel bad. I know it sucks, but you're in very, very good company. Lots of people did that. That's why the price was going crazy back in the early part of 2022. But we have since, for those of you who don't know the whole history of the drip token, there used to be there is still a smart contract called Faucet. And this was a contract where you could put some tokens in and you would get a lot more tokens back out. And of course, anytime you have a protocol like that, where everybody in the protocol is earning more tokens out of it than what they put in, right? Unless the user adoption is going bananas, which it was for a while, for the most part, you're going to have a highly inflationary token on your hands. If everybody's earning free tokens, then there's going to be a lot more tokens in the supply. And we, in fact, went from 1 million tokens to whatever it is now, 231 million at last count. This tax vault keeps growing and then dropping back down and growing and dropping back down. But I know that I believe we've dropped below 100,000 tokens per day, still being minted by the Faucet smart contract. But that was changed. So the Faucet used to give a 365% ROI, meaning for every token that you put in, you got 3.65 tokens back out. Excuse me. And there was an opportunity to compound your rewards, and you could get like 3,000% a year in tokens, and even more when you considered 18 months or 2 years. So that Faucet was changed from 365 down to 100. So now whatever you put in, that's all you're going to get back out of the contract. Plus, there are taxes to deposit into Faucet, taxes to remove from a deposit. So now Faucet is just a contract that eats your drip. Nobody should be putting drip tokens into Faucet now, although it is still technically possible. You shouldn't do it now because you're actually going to get fewer tokens out of the contract than whatever you originally put in. There is another contract or a protocol called Kitchen Sink. I'm not a player. I'm not an investor in Kitchen Sink, but some folks are enjoying that protocol, and that is a way for you to possibly get more drip tokens out than whatever you put in. But I appreciate that you joined my team way back in January of 2022. Whew. Crazy, crazy days back then. Do you think Wrap Drip will go down with Drip X launch? No, man. No, my friend. I think it will go up. I mean, it's already going up just on the idea that Drip X is coming. Is I'm sure it's possible that it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news type of a situation. But I think in this case, this will actually be a literal use case for the token, and people are going to use it. And people are going to be wrapping their drip. Other people are going to be buying drip and wrapping it. Other people are going to be buying wrapped drip so they can play this new protocol called Drip X. So I think it's going to spur a lot of fresh demand for the token. Hopefully get some eyeballs on the token. I mean, this is already attracting some attention from people that look only at sites like DexScreener or CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko or whatever. Some people just look at those sites only looking for tokens that are up, and then they buy in and they trade the token. I don't know the exact tokenomics of Drip X and Wrap Drip, but I don't believe people will need to sell their wrapped drip in order to buy the Drip X token. I think there's more of a stake wrapped drip and you get Drip X or something like that. But again, I don't know what exactly the ins and outs of that protocol. I wasn't invested in Titan X. Oh my God. Yeah, $10 would be absolutely insanity. I would never have to worry about money again in my life, and neither would my daughters. Probably won't see it at a penny again. Yeah, I agree. We got as low as like 1.1 cents, but I don't think it'll ever go back down that low. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah. It's going to be a good, interesting problem to have, a good problem to have, but yeah, it'll be challenging. I think for me, I'm trying to set in motion as many streams of income as I can possibly create. I got the day trading thing. I actually had an interview today for a very interesting position as a DeFi mentor. I'm super excited about that. It's just completely right up my alley. So that potentially will earn some income for me. I have Stable Swap. That is the best thing for me right now in terms of actual raw income. Animal Farm, when it becomes Black Cube Finance, I believe that will be a huge source of income for me. My pigs tokens convert to the seat tokens, and I'll stake all of those on the round table and earn a very nice passive income there. So I'm, excuse me, I'm hopeful that my income situation will just be completely covered, very comfortably covered. And if so, that will make it a little bit easier to be a diamond hand with drip and not sell until it goes way up. But yeah, the struggle will definitely be real, G.I. Joe. At 10 cents, it'll be tricky. At 20 cents, at a quarter, at 50 cents, all those milestones in price as we're going up and up, it'll be very, very tempting to sell. Yep, you are definitely not alone, Molian. A lot of people paid that and more for a drip back in the heyday. Yes, Drip Garden is still running. Now, the BUSD liquidity is being phased out. So let's see here. Drip Garden was launched in December of 2021. the community was really clamoring for Forex to create a miner. It was very popular in late summer and fall of 2021. All these miner protocols. So Forex created Drip Garden, and Drip Garden utilizes not the Drip token itself, but the Drip BUSD liquidity token. So this is a V2 liquidity pool where people put in Drip and BUSD, and they provide liquidity for the Drip BUSD liquidity pool or DEX on PancakeSwap. The trouble here is that, well, so first of all, this is a game, right, where you're putting LP tokens in and you're hoping to get more LP tokens out of it than you put in, but you're also competing with everybody else that's trying to do the same thing. So I like to call these kinds of protocols, I call them musical chairs. This definitely falls under that category. This is a musical chairs protocol. And the problem for a long time is that the value of these LP tokens was going down and down and down and down, because the value of the LP token is associated with the value of Drip. Obviously, the value of BUSD doesn't change, but if Drip goes from $200 down to 1 cent, which it did, the LP token is going to experience a very similar drop in value. The other problem is that this form of Drip liquidity is on its way out. So most protocols that have BUSD as their liquidity pool, or in their liquidity pool, they're shifting gears and trying to pair with either USDT or BNB or USDC or stuff like that. So I don't know the specific plans that Forex has in mind for the Drip BUSD liquidity pool. There's not a ton of liquidity in there. There's well, that's a lot higher than it was a month or two ago. But there's only $472,000 worth of liquidity. That, by the way, is why it's so easy to spike this price upwards. It doesn't take a lot of incoming capital to really pump this price. But BUSD is only 236,000. So it might happen that that Forex decides to sort of decommission the Drip Garden protocol, and I would guess it would be. This is all speculation. Forex hasn't said anything about Drip Garden. He has spoken about a similar protocol called Piggy Bank, and the plan for Piggy Bank is to decommission the contract, and whatever value is left in the contract would then be fairly distributed to all of the remaining players. So I would speculate that something similar will eventually be done with the Drip Garden. It's a ways off. Whatever happens, it's definitely a ways off, because as you guys all know, we're still waiting for Animal Farm V3, aka Black Cube Finance. I'd like to get into Drip Garden, but they're earning me the most dogs. Well, okay. So yeah, with your Drip, so first of all, like I said earlier, I am very reluctant to put any of my Drip tokens into a liquidity pool, because of the massive opportunity cost that would cause. So I'd much rather hold on to 100% of my Drip tokens in my wallet, and every single percentage point of gain that we experience in the price of Drip, I get all of that. Whereas if I put some of my Drip, pair it with BUSD, first of all, I don't have enough BUSD to cover all of the drip that I have, or I don't have any BUSD right now, to be honest. So I would have to sell some of my drip to get some BUSD. Then I would pair the drip with the BUSD. Now I'm limiting my gains, right? Even though it's a V2, not a V3 liquidity pool, I'm still limiting myself, and I'm causing myself to have an opportunity cost that I just don't need. So I'm personally not holding much of any drip BUSD liquidity. I did recently put some USDT. What was it? Was it USDT or USDC? So this farm on Animal Farm. So here's the drip BUSD. This is going to earn you a 28% APR. Not bad, but not great. But I recently put some money into this. So this dropped a lot. It was like 140%. Now it's 40%. But even that is higher than drip BUSD. And if I provide this, this is stable. USDC and BUSD, those are both stable coins. So I know my principal won't go up or down in value. And I'll earn an APR paid in dogs. I get where you're coming from, Fate Master. I also want as many dogs tokens as I can get my hands on. But yeah, I wouldn't provide liquidity personally for drip BUSD because I want all of that price exposure. And also I wouldn't be, I prefer the USDC BUSD liquidity here, earning a higher APR than over here. There's a lot of players in this. This is a very crowded farm. This is not so crowded. It was even less crowded a week or two ago when I saw this. I think it was you, Fate Master, that pointed out the APR was like 140%. Excuse me. Yeah, but even though the multiplier, you're right, the multiplier on drip BUSD is 8x, and the multiplier on this one is only 6x, which is still really good. This is the number that you want to pay attention to, the APR right then and there. And it's higher. It's higher on this stablecoin farm. This is actually also called stable swap. So when you go on PancakeSwap to add liquidity for this pair, you are adding not a V2, not a V3, but what they call stable swap. You're adding stable swap liquidity on PancakeSwap to get these LP tokens. Pretty sure, yeah. There is a link to take you to the PancakeSwap UI. And I guess it doesn't fill out the thing properly. What I say, was it USDC? You're not going to provide V3. What you do is go here and you go, well, now I'm not seeing it. Oh, because this is the V3 interface here. So what you actually have to do is just come out here to the trade liquidity, add liquidity. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. USDC and BUSD. A lot of people are uncomfortable with BUSD. I don't have a problem with it on chain. I think it will continue to hold its value right alongside the other main stable coins. I'm not seeing, where is it? Oh, here, add V2 liquidity. It was just taking. Okay, I guess that's it right there. So this is where you can put in, you have to put in equal amounts of BUSD and USDC. Then the contract will spit you back the LP tokens. You come over here and stake those and earn a 40%. This is a good point to mention the Telegram group again. So I just went through this really quickly, And you might be watching this and being like, what the heck is he talking about? I don't understand. I'm confused. That is fine. That is normal. DeFi is complicated. So this is a good time to, again, mention my Telegram group. So t.me/team drip guide. The URL is scrolling right now along the bottom of your screen. This is free. It is open to everyone. And this is a trusted place where you can interact with me, my other admins. We can help you through these kinds of questions and processes. Just do everything in the main chat, in the Team Drip Guide chat. I promise you, if you go into that chat and start asking questions, you're going to receive multiple DMs, multiple private messages, direct messages from scammers. 99.9% of the time, they are scammers trying to contact you and trip you up and fool you and steal your seed phrase or do something else nefarious. So stay away from the DMs, the private messages. Keep everything in the chat, but feel free to ask any and all questions in the Team Drip Guide Telegram group if you're confused and you need more help. So just wanted to throw that out. Yeah, you were the one that mentioned the APR. Still building. I heard there was an issue with TUSD. Speaking about issues with stable coins, not too long ago, a couple of months back, I heard about some kind of issue with TUSD, but I haven't really paid attention. That is a nice APR, certainly better than the USDT, or excuse me, USDC BUSD. But I don't know if the depegging risk is really worth it. I mean, I didn't put too much money in here. I didn't even put $100 worth of money into the USDC BUSD. As far as stable pairs, that has been relatively stable APR wise for the past few months. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And here's the thing. This is I would call this a leveraged play. And this will be the last thing to talk about. We need to wrap it up. Animal Farm will eventually be migrated from V2 to V3. It will get a name change. It will get a facelift. It'll be called Black Cube Finance. And when that happens, I say when, I know we've been waiting a long time and it sometimes feels like it's never going to happen, but I believe strongly it will happen. And when it does, all of your dogs tokens will essentially be converted into the cubes token. And the tokenomics for cubes are going to be such that the protocol, Black Cube Finance, will constantly, every minute of every day, the protocol will be buying the token off of the exchange. And every time it buys tokens, 1/3 of those tokens that it buys are burned, destroyed, vaporized, right? And anybody who chooses to sell the cube token, 3% of their sell gets burned as well. So you have a perfect recipe for price appreciation on the cube token. You have a constant demand for the token in the form of a huge protocol that will be constantly buying the token, and you have a constantly shrinking supply. So demand is staying the same or going up, supply is shrinking. That's an excellent recipe for price appreciation. So whatever free dogs tokens you earn by farming, in this case, a stable coin pair, you're going to get cubes tokens. And then those cube tokens, in my belief, are going to be super bullish. So this is a supercharged way to turn a little bit of money into potentially a lot of money. Not financial advice. TUSD old. Yeah. All right, guys. So, oh, we have 20. Oh, beautiful. Okay, that's good enough. We got 29 live viewers. So if you are still tuned in, let's go ahead and do a giveaway. I mean, it's not 35, but it's close enough. And now it dropped down to 27. Maybe I didn't speak quickly enough, but let's do a giveaway. Let's see. Since we were just talking about Black Cube Finance, let's do hashtag Black Cube. So if you are watching the live stream right now, 7:18 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, this is your chance. So just enter this keyword into the chat. Don't forget the hashtag. Don't put any spaces in there. So the StreamYard widget will pick up your entry. Enter only once per person. So we have 31 viewers now. So once we get to 31 entries, I'm going to hit the button. So please don't enter more than once. Let's give everybody an equal fair chance at getting entered. And I'm going to give away 20 bucks worth of crypto. Just in the nick of time, 32 viewers. I'm guessing people will probably want drip. The winner will probably be interested in getting some drip since the price performance has been so great lately. But I don't know for sure. I don't really want to mess with elephant, so I think the two choices will be either drip or dogs. I'm definitely not giving away any of my pigs tokens. 18. So we have 32 live viewers. So if you haven't entered yet, just type this keyword into the chat. If you are watching the recorded version of this video, thank you very much. I really appreciate you watching my videos. Please hit the thumbs up, like the video, leave a comment down below. Make sure to subscribe and definitely turn on the notifications so that you can have a chance at being notified and maybe having time and showing up for the next live stream. But if you're watching the recorded version, the giveaway has already happened. It's only during the actual live stream. So try to make it. I stream twice a week, Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern and Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Try to make it a little easier on Wednesdays for those of us living in the UK or Europe. Try to make it for the live stream. That's your chance to win some free crypto. But definitely appreciate those of you who are watching the recorded version of the video. Thank you. No, Joey, you won last week. Forget about it. I'm just kidding. Anybody can win, even if you already won once before or twice or 3 times before. That's why I stopped doing I was giving away free crypto twice every stream, but I was basically just giving money away to the same 15 or 20 folks every time. So I really want to do it as a promotional tool to try to grow the channel and get some more viewers. Let's get some more people developing this mindset and understanding the massive opportunity that we have in DeFi. I mean, come on. 165% APR. What's my what is my ETH USDC doing right now? There it is. 304.82%. Excuse me, 304.7% APR right here. Not here, right here. ETH USDC. And the capital, my underlying capital is going up in value. Or trading fees, I'm earning cake. It's a beautiful thing, and it's not difficult. You just have to learn the ropes, and I can help with that. And you can earn these fantastic APRs as well. Where did I go? Giveaway. 28. So a couple of you have yet to enter. Please, again, just enter one time per person. But it looks like a couple of you that are actually tuned in live right now have not yet entered. I'll give it another few seconds here. There's Princess. Okay, we got 30. That's good enough. Close enough. 29 live viewers, it says. Oh my gosh, Joey. Joey almost won again. Instead, we got David Lusick. Congrats. Let me know in the chat whether you would prefer drip, David, or dogs. I will either give you 20 bucks worth of drip or 20 bucks worth of dog straight to your wallet. That is a great question, Ferdinand. What is the best DEX to get highest APYs? Well, your APY, assuming you're going to use the same price range, then your APY completely depends upon how much trading volume is happening on that exchange. So it's really just a function of volume. So I tend to go with the big exchanges. Like Radium is the biggest volume on Solana. Pancake Swap is probably the biggest volume on BNB chain. I'm doing a Pancake Swap on ZK Sync because I not only want good volume, I think Uniswap is better than Pancake Swap maybe in terms of volume. But I wanted to do it on Pancake Swap. Well, I wanted to do it on ZK Sync because I just want to do activity on ZK Sync in general. I'm trying to farm an airdrop on ZK Sync. I talked about that in a stream a couple of weeks ago. Airdrop farming, it is a thing. So address ending in 49, and he said he wants drip. So I have a few drip tokens in here, just a few. Now, how many tokens? So the price here is 0.0476. This would actually be a lot higher if you wrap your drip, if you wrap your drip and sell it over here. You're still going to pay the same 10% tax. If you sell it on Pancake Swap or the native DEX, there's a 10% tax. If you wrap it first, there's a 10% tax. But then once it's wrapped, there's no more tax. Right? That's the advantage of wrap drip. So you could come over here and sell your drip for that's the wrong one. I think I might just take the average of the two prices. This is at 0.54, basically. This one is at 0.476. So let's just say 5. $400 drip. Man, the prices come up. I think the last time I gave away drip was like 700 or maybe even 800 drip. But I will send you 400 drip. The OG drip, you can wrap it or not wrap it, up to you. Now, Rabby is going to go to Pancake Swap to pull the price. That's why this says only $17.40. But the actual value is a lot higher than that, considering you could wrap it and sell it on the wrapped BNB, wrapped drip BNB exchange. Let me grab my Rabby password. Now my wallet locked itself again. My ledger locked itself again. Cool. All right. Ending in 4.9. There you go, David. Thank you, everybody, for watching the stream live. I appreciate you. Thank you for those of you watching the recorded video. Very nice of you. Thanks for watching my videos. And there goes the drip. So I will be back again on Wednesday. We'll probably do another update, see how these liquidity positions are going. I don't mind if ETH keeps going up, but if it goes higher than my range, I will stop earning fees and I will be sold out of ETH, so I won't get to enjoy any of that further price appreciation. So I guess what I would like in an ideal world is I would just like a ton of volume and a completely flat price. That would be the ideal situation for anybody providing liquidity. On a DEX, Sol is looking good. ETH is looking good. Guys, I appreciate you being here. I will be back again on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Until then, have a great night. Thanks for watching.